Boring, lame, simple. These are how people see normal type Pokemon, but not me. Versatile, strong, and all-rounders. Those are the words I think of when I see normal type Pokemon. And to prove that normal types are at the top of the Poke Pyramid, I am going to be Nuzlocking the hardest Pokemon ROM hack, Pokemon Radical Red. Pokemon Radical Red is a ROM hack made by Supercell and Koala 4, and its goal is to take the Fire Red everyone knows and loves and make it hell on a Game Boy. Now, you may be asking yourself, Twist, didn't you just try a vanilla Nuzlocke of Sapphire and lose? And to that I say yes. But never fear, because with the power of normal types on my side, I won't falter. So grab your Pokedexes, grab your Pokeballs, and strap in. It started like every normal Nuzlocke does. I picked my starter and it was Snivy. I did this because in my head, our rival Unique would end up getting an Emboar, and that's a fire fighting type. But then I remembered no matter what, he gets a Kanto starter, so it didn't matter. We use our starter Abnormal to crush his stupid Charmander with a stupid non-normal type Pokemon. I started this rigorous journey at night for no particular reason other than the fact that I was up at 11 p.m. I grabbed the old man's package and headed back to his lab. I gave him the package and he gives me a Pokedex and Pokeballs. And with this, the Mono-Locke has officially begun. I make my way down to Route 21 after looking at possible encounters, and I knew what Pokemon was destined to be my starter. Pigbert the Lechonk was our first member. Our rock, our stud, our show pig. On Route 1, I ran into a feisty Rattata who I named Shiba. I head to the box and I put in Abnormal. He was a good snake, but he was not a normal type. In Viridian City, I'm on the hunt for my next encounter, and after running into every electric type possible, I find Patrat, who I named Coco. Then it's down to Route 22. I find Girly Pop the Starly, then up on Route 2, I find Sabrina the Sentret. There are no new available encounters to me in Viridian Forest, that I know of at least. I walk into the forest and I'm immediately jumped by Brendan and his Corphish and Trico, but with Pigbert's newly learned echoed voice, we pack them up with ease. And that's when we see her, Lass Ann. Now, if you don't know, Lass Ann has a Stuffle. And if you didn't know, again, Stuffle is a fighting type. And if you didn't know, again, fighting is super effective against normal. And on top of that, she has an Autono that knows Swagger, Wish, Yawn, and Protect. And she also has a Metronome Clefairy. Fun, right? The battle starts and I lead Girly Pop and she leads Stuffle. A wing attack doesn't even do half to the Stuffle, but a low sweep does almost half to Girly Pop and lowers her speed. Since I'm slower, the Stuffle uses low sweep again, knocking Girly Pop to 6 HP. Girly Pop uses her Oran Berry and brings her back up to 16, but she's still in the yellow. She uses wing attack, putting Stuffle in range to eat her berry and get back up to the green. I decide to switch to Coco, who lives a low sweep with 1 HP before dying the next turn. I bring in Pigbert to use Disarming Cry, hoping that would kill, but it doesn't. Now that Pigbert's low, I switch to Sabrina to save Pigbert and get a clean sweep back into Girly Pop. The Stuffle lives a wing attack on what looks to be 1 HP before killing Girly Pop with another low sweep. I use Sheba's quick attack to finally kill the Stuffle. Sheba and Pigbert take out Lass Ann's Autono and Clefairy with ease, and now it's time to face Falkner. With no new encounters available, Sheba and Pigbert walk to their inevitable deaths. To spare the carnage and my dignity, let's just move on to Attempt 2. Attempt 2 starts a lot like Attempt 1. We name our rival Unique, pick Squirtle as our starter, and get a Lechonk from Route 21 who we name Chapel. Then things start to change. We run into a young goose on Route 1 who we name Mullet, and in Viridian City we find Cobalt the Spearow. And on Route 22, we find the overall best normal type and maybe best dog Pokemon ever created, Lillipup, who we name Coco, but with a K instead of a C. Then on Route 2, we run into a Zigzagoon who we name Pokey. And now, I was looking at the encounters on each route and I noticed something I didn't see last night. In the forest, there's an expansion that you can only access after beating Lass Ann. And in the expansion is a Slackoth. So once again, we beat up Brendan and his Pokemon, and we go to battle Lass Ann. But this time things are different. This time, we have Cobalt. We start the battle, and I send out Cobalt, and Lass Ann sends out Stuffle. 2 Plucks, and the pink bear was gone. Audino tried yawning me. Psh, light work. And then she swaggers me. Rookie mistake. With Cobalt's attack now boosted, the Audino falls to another pluck. Now asleep, I decide to give him a break and send in Coco. The metronome put us in a bit of a tight spot, but nothing Coco couldn't handle. She gives us the Infinity Repel, and we make our way to the Forced Expansion to find the one and only Totoro the Slack-Off. Riding high off the victory we just had, we march into Pewter City. We march into the museum and battle Faulkner. I lead with Cobalt once again and pluck his Rufflet. It was at this point I realized Pluck doesn't take anything but berries, so the Rufflet drinks its berry juice. But it doesn't matter. Cobalt dodges his attack and crits the Rufflet. Faulkner then brings out Wattrel and flashes Cobalt, dropping his HP to 5. Even with the Oran Berry, Cobalt was sitting in the yellow. To hopefully save Cobalt, I sent out Totoro, who takes an air slash and eats his berry. Totoro has one purpose, to yawn the Wattrel, and he does it. So I switch to Chapel to take the following flash. Then the Wattrel hits me with Sleep Talk, and Chapel gets hit with an air slash. Chapel's still alive, so I used Echoed Voice, but it only got Wattrel in the range to drink his berry juice. The Wattrel then woke up and used air slash, killing Chapel. I bring in Pokey and headbutt the Wattrel after taking an air slash. I know Pokey can live another one, so I use headbutt again, but then the Wattrel uses Roost. I go for headbutt again, only to get flinched. Pokey, now on 4 HP, can't live another hit, so I use Baby Doll Eyes and Pokey falls to another air slash. I bring out Matcha, and after a back and forth of quick attacks and Roost, the Wattrel flashes Matcha twice and kills her. I send out Cobalt to quick attack and kill the Wattrel, and now Faulkner's last Pokemon comes out. I use Pursuit, but the Flittle is faster and one Psybeam kills Cobalt. I bring in Coco, who's able to live the Psybeams and bite the Flittle to death. Now, we once again are left with only 2 Pokemon, no new encounters, and we have to face the next obstacle. I walk into Brock's gym and lead Totoro to hopefully yawn the Geodude and engage a move out before it explodes. But my plan failed. Geodude moved first and almost killed Totoro with the self-destruct. Even after the Oran Berry, Totoro was still in the yellow. Totoro was slacking off, so the Archon could pluck and then bulldoze to kill Totoro. Coco goes in and Baby Doll Eyes the Archon and takes a bulldoze from Onix. She yawns the Onix and survives another bulldoze as the Onix falls asleep. If Coco gets hit again, she's dead, but she chips away with Bite before Onix uses a move we've been surprised by before. The Onix uses Sleep Talk, and Coco gets killed. Attempt number 2 is finished. Yeah. So if you can't tell, this is recorded after the fact, just because the quality is different. But yeah, that was rough. And this just made me realize that maybe I should complete a vanilla Nuzlocke before jumping back into a difficulty ROM hack. Because on this channel I'm 0 for 4 on Nuzlocks. I guess this makes it 0 for... No, this makes it 0 for 4. Yeah, and that's just... that is a rough pill to swallow. Yeah. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. The next video will probably be a vanilla Nuzlocke, and if it... No, it will be. Because... Yeah. This was rough. Love you guys. Peace out.